Okay, Mellow Cups. Got this worked out here. Running Mason this time. Usually it's Jaeger, Mellow, or one of those two. 79. Um, Pretty good. I mean, some of this stuff is subjective. I missed the line there. Man, you never get them all. Dang, you just gotta come up here and hit this real quick. There we go. No, close. This is the majority of my day. I love this game. This is one of my favorite things to do ever. And I gotta knock that one out. Come on. Thought I had it. I was trying to do this without being a pain right in the ass, but apparently it's just gonna be. So I don't really have much math going on here. You could probably do some here, some that's pretty easy, but for the most part, this is just marshmallow collection. Um, this being an example of it, we want to come over here. This would be my inventory page. I'm not working any of my home staff. As far as my deed, I have somebody working for me. Where is she? Somewhere's in here. Breen, I think is what her name is. Breen. And she's the caretaker, so I got her squared away with some money. Now, again, once you get the initial stuff set up, you pay them off what it is, they're pretty much done. You're not going to wait 8 months on these kinds of day-night schedules. It doesn't exist. It's just a 30-day month, and it's a 24-hour day, and whenever you go asking for one of them, they'll come up and appear. So you can basically beast mode this. And I mean, you can really get going as far as what you're trying to save, stretching out my books, make sure you get just the right amount of room between these things so you don't get this all squished up or spread out too much. It took me a long time to work that out, where I just got a couple of little ones over here, but this is way advanced. You'll be deep into the game by the time you need any of that. For the most part, it's just equipment, your list, run that down, and your 1 through, what is this, a 10 set that I got inside here because 11 or 12, whatever it is, 2 to 12, just run that right across. Here's my financial list. I'm usually going from what I started. I gave myself an initial 10 coins. Sometimes you get lucky, the inventory gives it to you. So I just took that, I found some treasure, and I did some stuff. I sold some goodies, some mushrooms. That scored me up pretty big, so took care of the initial night, food, anything that you need. And then you just keep re-raiding clans. And I know this is kind of weird the way these are set up. Usually I don't have these in here. But it helps when you're trying to say, all right, what's a good game board? I don't want you to get off of this until you're ready to reset and bring one of those back down here. So you can see this one's a little bit longer because I didn't have it quite worked out to this log 10. And because of that, I had a lot of problems trying to keep it square and making sure that I stayed uniform with all my lines so I can shift up and down when necessary, add one, subtract one. Try not to have any wasted space. I think that's only one line. Yeah. Only because it's generally bigger. But I want it to be noticeable as something that's different. You have to work your way to that part of the advanced part of the board. And the whole time you're town building. Now, you can only go so far back Lithium 6, especially after it summarizes stuff. Usually after about 60,000 characters for me. Something like that. It'll reduce it down to about 6,000. And it'll keep doing that. Once it did it, third or fourth or fifth evolution. I really haven't found too much drift yet that isn't in the front end of it. It's really easy to kind of get that off, especially if you're not keeping track of your names. You can't keep track of the names or the buildings or come easily see this. Then you're going to have to get lost in the weeds while trying to come out, what was 13 moves ago with the place that I was just going when this thing is kicking out. Every single wizard that'll walk up to you, the sorceress. I'm using the spicier version, but I haven't done anything with this one. I'm just solo in a castle, so a lot of NPCs, they'll just come up to you out of nowhere, and you might have to prune some of your work, like get let's say, I could take all that out, but there's no need to. It was the way I phrased the question this time, and so I could either eat that, keep it going, which in this case it was fine, or I might want to prune out some section. Usually when you're about to walk somewheres or go somewheres, it might take you off on a tangent on one of those quests, so you have to click that off. Only take it to the part of the message where I'm like, oh, I like that, but I don't like talking to this other guy or making a deal or going down that tunnel. That's not what my plan was, so you have to come back through here. And you have to be able to change those things up. You can take this and you can delete it inside of here. I don't think this part deletes your messages. I'm not sure. I think it does, and I've checked it a couple of times, but I just, scatterbrains. But I know regenerating them does. At least I'm fairly certain. And so I paid out for the $20 unlimited. Oh yeah, I could just sit here for hours and do this. This is the majority of it. I'm just thinking about how the task goes, or I'm just sorting those off into my inventory. You can see those right here. All right, there's my books and my tomes. So I'm sure history. Oh, I gotta get that one up there. Yeah. You'll get those weird crossovers like that in the middle of the game because I didn't run it through and trade all this stuff in, or because I'm just trying to lay in what's the time one, what's the scathing one, or sighing one, so I can see the future a little bit, which one allows me to talk to whispers. And all of them do it, but you kind of want to play the game that 79 gives you. And so that small little bit of a limit right there, even off the front end of the game, where you could basically, did you try? I know I haven't really wasted it much in here, but if you haven't tried, then how do you know you just can't beast mode it until it says, no, you can't do that. I know when you make mistakes in counting or forget to add in a number inside here, to let you know. And you got to take the time to actually fix those loops, because it'll cause all kinds of problems. But once you get it back on the tracks, you're usually pretty good. It'll stay with it. So no, I haven't painted myself in a corner yet. Very, very tight. Where are we at here? This is my notes over here. I could use this, but I generally don't like doing this. I think it's kind of confusing. I haven't really found a way to practically use it outside of sheets. And I think this just works better anyways. You need to come back in and roll or something, just come back in here and roll, or change your account over or whatever. So yeah, had a lot of fun. The only thing I think it's missing is, can I get a picture, right? If I'm going to pay the extra premium for what it is, I want to be able to ask it a picture like I do 79 over here and have it give me something like that. That would be pretty ballsy, because especially seeing you got this image generator up here. Right? I could change it, I'm not gonna. But you just regenerate your image, and I got a lot of premiums from rolling the wheels and stuff like that. I can edit image. I didn't know I could edit image. I got to check that out. You can always just upload your own favorite picture, but having it take that kind of standard will just let's see if I can get a good one for you. Sometimes you gotta ask Gemini to do it a couple of times. Like, I'm gonna take the characteristics. Come on, meow. I did a really good one where I was doing all the spells you could do. Here I'm working on the town in itself, much like the inventory, or excuse me, the town that I'm in, which would be somewhere down in there. You want to take the towns and all the individual buildings. I don't have the stumbling goat in this one. I think this is a different one. Yeah, this was T-Field, so it was another world I had to go. And you're just trying out which one best works for you. You click it, and then you take it, and you move on to the town hall. If you don't like the dwarfs or something, you try to change them. You ask the question. And you just keep pushing that in, you slamming that murder button until you get something that's really nice and fleshed out. And again, that's a combination of things. Again, I'm still throwing stuff away. Even after I sold it or something, you want to keep it, right? You want to have it on a different type of inventory ledger and I didn't have this side of the coin worked out. I can always just keep cranking them out over here and call it just a receipt that I'm going to do. So again, I'm just really getting nearer and nearer to this A1 corner up here for equipment. This is mandatory have-to-haves. I don't want to sell them. And it gets really fancy because you get like $100,000 pieces of treasure, gold treasures and stuff. So I got to get it all appraised by a couple of different people. Again, I'm having a lot of fun. So